So after handling errors for the inputs, now we're gonna work on the date of birth and gender and try and handle errors here. Okay, I know this is getting a bit long, but just deal with it. Okay, this is a very informative course. You're gonna learn some things that you never seen before. Okay, so I'm trying my best to bring valuable informations and valuable approach and professional code. So just be patient, and if you want to be a web developer or any sort of any work, you just gotta be patient and learn slowly but surely. Okay, you don't have to finish this course in 10 or 15 days or a month. You gotta take your time, and the most important thing is not to have the projects in your portfolio. Okay, is that you learned something. Okay, a project in your portfolio may get you a job, but when you're in the job, what's your values? Okay, what you learned, what exactly you learned after working on this project? Okay, if you just want to have this project in your portfolio, you just go to the last episode and take the source code and just get out of it. Okay, so this is a place for everyone to learn. Okay, so just deal with it. So I'm not a good motivational speaker, so they just get to work. So we're just gonna validate the date and make sure, first of all, that you are a certain age. For example, for my example, I'm going to be like 14. So at least you are 14 to use our application, and also you can't be more than 70. Nothing against them, just for testing purposes. And it's going to be advanced because it's going to be simple, but advanced in the way that we validate also the month and the day. So for example, we're not going to just see the year you're born and then we see, we're going to see if you are 14 depending on the year. Also, we're going to make sure that your month and day you are actually 14. So if you are one day less than 14, you're not going to be allowed, or one day more than 70, or you are actually 70, you're not going to be allowed. Okay, so it's going to be a very unique and specific validation. Okay, and for the input, if you see the errors, when we touch the elements we get the errors. Okay, but for this one, when we submit, so when we submit the form we get the validation. Okay, so let me fill this for random informations like this, and right now we just want to validate the date of birth and the gender. Okay, so simply we're going to go to the form and register form to the formic, and we have any form has the on submit, and on submit right here we're just going to simply have an arrow function, and we're going to first of all define the date right now. So we're just going to get the normal date right now, so we're going to be let's call it current date, which is going to equal new date. So now we have the current date. Also want to get the date the user chooses. So when the user chooses like a certain date right here, I play with the values, when I get those values, and they're going to be stored in the birthday year, the month, and the day. So simply we can just go right here, pick date, and it's going to be equal new date, and we're just going to pass the year, which is going to be the B year, and also going to pass the B month, and also going to pass the B day. Okay, like this. And now we have the pick date. So if you console log the pick date, and we're going to try to sign up, then we're going to see that this is the date that the user chose, and try to sign up, then we're going to see that this is the date that the user chose. So it's going to be Sunday, August 24, 2008. Let me just check one thing. So for example, if we went to, like for example, January, and we try to sign up, we're going to see this is going to be February, okay, and not January. For us, one is January, but for the JavaScript, as I said before, January is 0. So for example, as I said before, in JavaScript, January is going to be 0, okay, for us it's 1, but for them is 0. February is going to be 1, and March is going to be 2, and then April is going to be 3, as you see. Okay, so to make sure that for JavaScript it's the right month, we're going to go to the B month and just -1. So we're going to make sure that it's the right one. So for example, now if we chooses February, we're going to sign up and we're going to get February. If we actually go and choose March, we're going to get March. Okay, so this is very important. And also now we're going to define 14 years old and 70 years old. Okay, do this. As I said before, to the date, for example, if you want to get like the number of seconds for a date, it all starts from where. Okay, so for example, you see today, how many seconds in this date? You're going to see like it starts from where. And as I said before, it starts from 1970. Okay, this is January 1st, 1970. The time started there for the UTC. Okay. So now if we want to get what is 14 years old, depending on this, it's just going to be this plus 14. So this is the age, or how is 14 years old depending on the UTC time. So this is 14. If we want to get like 70, it's going to be 1970 plus 70. Okay, and this is 70 years with the JavaScript. Okay, so this is the way how we can do it. Okay, so simply right here we're just going to go and let's call this at least 14, and it's going to be, which is 14 new date, and here we're going to define 1970, I'm just gonna plus 14. And then the month is gonna start from 0, and as I said, the first day is gonna be 1. Okay, so this is at least 14. If wanna go no more than 70, I've explained this before, so this is easier because I've already explained it. So no more than 70, and this is gonna be plus 70. Okay, like this. Okay, so now we're gonna simply check if, let's call it the current date minus the peak date. So the current day minus the day the user, or the date the user chooses, is less than at least 14. That means this guy is at least 40, is less than 14. So console log, let's call it, for example, underage. Okay, you are not 14. Okay, so let's try sign up right now. So let me go, for example, to a date to a very recent. So this is clearly not 14. Okay, let me clear the console. And sorry, and sign up. We're gonna get underage. So if you went to the calculator and went 2022 minus 14. So this is you're gonna be born in 2008 to be 14. And the way that we're gonna do it, let me just explain something to you. Okay, so let's go right here and let's go for age difference calculator and go to this one. And let's have our test right here. So someone is born, let's take the date now. So this is, we are now in March. The recording this is going to be 1/2022. So this is the current day today. Okay, and we're going to compare it for someone who's born in 2008, and the day is going to be the same and the month is going to be March. So now if we calculate, we're going to see the difference between them is 14 years old. So this is allowed. So let's go back right here to the application and let's do this right here. So this is March 1, just explain things to you, and let's go 2008. Okay, it's 2008 and try to sign up. This is going to be fine. But for example, if you went right here and you are born not this time, not on 1, the second day, okay, and calculate, you're going to see that you are 11 months and 30 days. You are 1 day less than 14, so you are not 14. So if we go back right here and just add 1 day, so you're born on the second, not the first, and sign up, you're going to be underage. So if you go like 2 before, which is 1, the current day, you're going to be fine. But just 1 day, we calculate that difference and make sure that you are 14 exactly. So now if we went to a year before, this is, of course, you're not underage right here. This is going to be fine. If you go to a year after that, sign up, you're going to be underage. To a more recent month, you're going to be underage. For example, if you are born the month before March, which is the current date, you're going to be fine. You're going to be underage because this is 2009, this is 2008, you're going to be fine. Okay, so now you understand that we find exactly that you are 14, and you can go to this application or this website and then play with the values to understand more how we vary. Okay, so that's the first verification. Now we're gonna also make sure that you are less or not more than 70, so are less than 70. So else if, and it's gonna be the current date minus the peak date, and we're gonna make sure it's not more. Okay, it's not more than, no more than 70. Okay, and let's see. So console log, you are more than 70, and the same way. So someone is born the 70 years old right now. So 2020 minus 70. This guy is gonna be born in 1952. So we can go right here to 1952. So if you are born in 1952, let's go right here. We're gonna do the same thing. So let's go to, this is we are in March 1st. So right here, sign up. You're gonna see you are more than 70. So if you are born in 1952, the same day as now, you are 70. So you are not allowed. But if you are born just in the month before, that means, what's gonna mean? This means that you're older. Okay, so you're still not allowed. But if we go back right here, so now if you are born in the day after the 1st of March, which is the day right now, you're gonna be less than 70 of 1 day. So you are not 70, but you are 70 less than 1 day. And then we're gonna sign up. It's not gonna be a problem. You're not gonna get there because you're like 69, 12 months and 30 days or whatever. Okay, so this is the same way. You can go back right here and play with the values for someone who's been 1952. Okay, let me go back right here, 1952. And if you are born in the same day, so as you see right here, you are 70 years old. But if we are born in the day after and calculate, you are 69 years old, 11 months and 13 days. That means you are less than 70, and when you're less than 70, you gotta be allowed. So right here, you are allowed just by 1 day. Sign up, and as you see, you are allowed by 1 day. Okay, and if you go back to a date before, for example, the month before, which is going to be February, that means you are older by a month, which is calculate, which is going to be 70 years old in a month. That means you're not allowed. So for example, if we go back to February, you are absolutely more than 70. So I know this is why I told you this is long, because this is actually a good verification. You know, we do specific thing and explain things this way. Okay, so you get the most value. Okay, not just write with me all this stuff. Okay, so that was the first thing. Now we're just gonna store this error in a variable to make sure that this is the first validation. So we can go right here and have a state. Let's call this date error, for example, and then set date error. We can call it date of birth to be more specific, your state, and the error is going to be empty in the beginning. But when we have this error, we're just going to go right here and set the error, change the value to this. Let me go back right here, go here and just try, and we're going to get this. When you fill these informations and you sign up, you're going to get this just like this. Okay, this is going to be the message. Okay, this is from the final version, which is going to be changed, okay, to the current one we're working on, because this is better. Okay, and we're going to have this message right here, and this is going to be double quotes. Also, let me remove these spaces right here, and this is going to be double quotes. Okay, so now we can take that and just add it right here. Okay, and this is for this, and also else, and then we're going to do another test, which is going to be for the gender. Okay, but for now, the thing that you're going to understand, if we go back right here, so this is for the this is for the option of the date. Okay, so we can go after the select, and when we have a year error, for example, what would they call it, date error? Yeah, date error. So when we have a date error, we're going to show the message that we have. So for example, let's have a div right here, and here we're going to show the error. Of course, this is going to be different. This is show you how it's going to look. Okay, let's call this class name error input. Input error, I don't remember what we had. Error inputs. Okay, so let's run now. Let's fill all these informations. Okay, if you are born in 2022, you're not allowed to sign up. So sign up, and you're gonna get this error right here. So this is gonna be input error. Okay, and it's gonna be red. Okay, so this is how the error is gonna be displayed at first, but we're gonna fix this, and we're gonna make it in the small screen to be the same way right here under, and you're on the large screen, it's gonna be on the right, on the left, as you want. Okay, so that's the verification that we're gonna use to show errors. Okay, and we're not gonna submit to the backend until everything, that's why we're using the ifs, until everything is all right, and the last else is gonna be the one that we get. So let's handle error for the gender also, which is going to be the simplest thing ever. So else if, I'm just going to check if the gender, the value of it is empty. Okay, so simply the gender right here, if it's empty, that means we have an error. So let's create another state for the error. So let's call it gender error. It's going to be set gender error, and it's going to be a use state also, and it's going to be in the beginning, it's going to be empty. Okay, the same way. So and we have this error. Let me just read this. It's going to be error. Okay, so let's go back right here, and else when we have the gender error right here, just simply gonna pass the error. Let me just get it from here, which is gonna be please choose a gender. You can change, see this, I don't know, just copy this and just have that. I'm just using the same ones Facebook has. Okay, so just me fix this space. Okay, and everything now is fine. So on the same way, you can just go and just copy this for the error, and just go back right here after the labels for the the inputs, and right here, but this time it's going to be gender error, and also we're going to show the gender error right here. Okay, so if you want to test this, let's just fill anything right here, and also just fill this right information, so it's not going to be a problem, not going to show anything right here. And then sign up, as you see, everything went right here, but here we got this problem. Okay, and we're going to make this, I think this is going to be a component. I don't want to have it right here, so let me just go and show it to you. So this widget grid that has all the selects for the date of birth for all of the selects, we can have it as components and also the second one in the components. Okay, this is going to be quite easy, so let's just do it. So simply we're going to go back to our components and we're going to go to the login and we're going to create a new component. So right here we're going to have two components. Let's create them. So let's call it date of birth select, okay, or form.js. Also I'm going to have another one. Let's create this, which is going to be gender select.js. okay, so RFC, let's go for the date of birth first. RFC, remove this. We're going to go back to the register form and we're going to cut everything from inside the register grid, which is only had 3 selects and also the error. So we're going to take that, let me close it and just boom, cut it, and let's call it right here date of birth select. Okay, and it's imported. So now it's only going to show this, which is whatever we have returned right here. So now we're going to change that to this. And boom, a million error. Okay, so simply just all the variables or all the data that we have right here, we can just gonna pass it, okay, in the components itself. So as you see in the errors, let's see. First of all, we have the handle register change, or first of all bday. So bday, let's pass that. Okay, and also we're gonna pass the b month, which is gonna be b month. Let's pass the b year, okay, which is gonna be the b year. Okay, this is gonna be like this, b year. Okay, let's see what else we're gonna pass. We're gonna pass the days, also months. Let's see, years. This is just a way to pass, you know, data through components, okay, or variables. Years, like this. Also what we have, the handle register change. Okay, let's pass that handle register change. We're gonna call it again. Let me see what's also gonna need, date error. So let's pass that. And boom. So let's go back right here and just get them. Let me just open this and extract them from the prop. So b day, b month. I know this is getting boring, but you gotta do it. Okay, just deal with it. As I said, so we're gonna have days, months, years, handle register change, and also the last thing is the date error, and boom. So now everything is back to normal and we have the same thing right here that we had, just in a component that's going to be easier to understand and manipulate. Okay, so the same way, if we have any informations wrong, you're going to get the error right here. Okay, I'm going to work on that later. Same way we had this, we're going to go also and do it for the same right here. So this register grid, which is for the second one, the gender, we're going to take that, so close it. Boom, caret. Let's import the gender. Okay, we didn't create it yet, so let's go back right here to the gender select. Okay, RFC, and we're gonna remove this. Okay, and go back right here and then call it, which is gonna be the gender select. Boom, now it's imported. Go back right here and paste everything in the return. Okay, boom, same thing, but this time it's gonna be just simply easier, which is going to be the handle register change. You see them in the errors, you know what you're going to pass. Okay, so this is what we're going to pass. Also we need to pass the gender. Okay, so gender error equal what am I doing, gender error, like this. And now let's just get them right here. Okay, so in the props, just extract them, handle register change, and also gender error. And boom, everything is back to normal. So this is the first thing we're gonna do. This is, you know, gonna give us a lot of freedoms to work with these. Okay, so let's go back to the date of birth select. Let me close this, and now let's see what we have to do, which is gonna work on the errors. Okay, so let me just like this something and sign up. Okay, the first thing. Okay, so let's see, you're gonna start like from the small screen, which is this one. Okay, so we're gonna go inside this, and first of all get the arrow, and we called it like arrow bottom. Okay, this is like the first one that's gonna be for this smaller screen, so let's add it right here. Also we're gonna have a width for this, so this is gonna be like this is gonna be quite simple actually. So if we went to the let's go to the sign. Okay, the styles for the sign, and right here let's add another one. Let's call it, I don't know, birth date of birth and gender errors or whatever, like this. Just something so you know what you're doing. Okay, so on right here we're gonna just select this class right here, which is gonna be the rich grid, so we don't change the others. We're gonna make sure we change this, which is, you know, gonna be for both the gender and the date of birth. We're gonna select that, and we're gonna also select the input error inside, and then we're gonna simply change the width to be 300 pixels, and boom, it's gonna be 300 pixels. Okay, it's gonna create this problem because this is gonna be position absolute also, and then like this. And let's see what things that we gonna do. So in the beginning, so, or just let's go to the let's go right here. Okay, so all right, so let's go back to register form. Just bear with me. You're gonna go to the register inputs and get the queries because we're gonna need them. And let's take the queries and put them right here. Date of birth select. Okay, like this, and we're just gonna import this. Okay, so let's go back right here. Thing is, we're gonna make sure that when we have an error, we gotta get a space, you know, in the bottom. So it's gonna be margin bottom for this div, margin bottom for this div, so we can have like a space. Okay, so let's go to the styles for this div, and this style is gonna be simply, we're gonna see the margin bottom. This is the thing that we're gonna change. So this margin bottom, and we're gonna have our test. And this is simply when we have an error, and there is not gonna be the field, there is gonna be just the date error right here. So we have it here exactly, and then we're gonna simply, and also we're gonna make sure that we are in the larger view, in the smaller view, sorry, because in the larger view it's not gonna be this you know, any space in the bottom. It's gonna be just directly on the right or on the left, so we don't need that space on the bottom. Okay, so it's gonna make sure that we are not in the view 3. Okay, so and this is live coding, I didn't prepare anything right. Okay, and then we're gonna have the margin button, for example 70 pixels. Okay, so let's have it more, I think like 90. Okay, and just let's push the other element, which is style, and let's go back right here. So top maybe 40 pixels, or maybe 50, 70. I'm just playing with the value. I think this is all right, you know, just from the top of my head. So this is all right, and this is only going to be shown when they have the error. Okay, so when we have no errors, for example, if we have this is all right, not this, some values that are, you know, correct, for example sign up, we're not going to have this error. Let me fix that. So we're going to go back to the register. Also make sure when you have no errors right here, you remove the errors also right here. Okay, so set date error to nothing. Okay, it's going to be same right here, this not here. So exactly, we have to do it here in the gender. So when we have error in the gender, we're going to make sure that we remove the date error. And also let's else when we have nothing, so we're just going to shake and make the date error nothing. And also we're going to have the set gender error to be nothing. Okay, we're going to error to be nothing. Okay, we're going to remove them. Okay, because they're not, there's no error this. Okay, so when we sign up, there's an error right here, we're not going to have any space. But when we have an error and then sign up, then we're going to have an error, and then we're going to see this space right here. Okay, so this is cool, very cool. Okay, so I'm going to go to the date birth. You can copy these things right here, because it's going to be the same for the gender select. So right here, and also call them media queries, and also have this size is going to be the same way. So let's go back to this gender select, and in the register grid we're going to add the size. Okay, so I'm going to make sure it's inside. Okay, and it's going to be this time not the date error, but it's going to be the gender error. Boom. And let's try again. Okay, and I think this is too much. Let's have it like 80 or maybe 70. So you find the balance. And also let's add the arrow button. So that's error arrow button. Boom. Okay, this looks nice. So this is the first thing. Also it's going to be changeable because this is fine. So I think this is for the smaller screen is fine. So if we want like to the 500, we're going to create this problem, which is going to change the width, and you can just do it right here. So in the media query, you can just take this, okay, and go in the media query. When we go to the 539, okay, let's go back right here in the end and just remove everything. Just make the width to be 370 pixels, maybe, or be less, 350. This is perfect. Okay, so now we have everything, you know, cool and ready for the small screen and also the medium screen. So let me check again. Okay, this is very important and I don't want to mess it up. Okay, and also one of the things, this is the input arrow bottom, is gonna change, but we're gonna do this later. Okay, so let me just check again. Okay, I think this is all right. So let's try again. So when we have errors right here, boom, but when we have everything is all right, sign up, there is no problem right there. Okay, and then when we make sure we select a value and it's not empty, and then sign up, boom, everything, you know, disappears and the spaces go back right here. Okay, so this is, if you want to a larger screen, this is how it's gonna look. I think this is all right. You know, if you want to have it like this and it changes this way, you just can leave the episode and go to the next. For me, I'm just gonna make this on the left. I know it's too much work, but just let's do it. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to change the position of this. So how we're going to do it? So we're going to go to the input here. So this is input here, is going to be an this also. So when we are not in the view 3, we are not in the larger screen, so simply keep it this way, else we're gonna have it the same, but also this other class name that we're gonna make it, you know, change it to the left. Okay, you can do that with just a style, but I'm gonna have a class name. Okay, let's call it, for example, input error select. Okay, we can call it large also to understand this is on the large screen. Okay, doesn't matter. So let's go back to the sign here, and let's go after this, and simply let's just make it so the left is going to be minus 107%, like we did before. This is going to be right, so this is not changing. So I think because this is not the larger screen. Okay, so we're going to go back. Let me just make it larger like this. Okay, so now we have it here. So because now we are on large screen, this is too much, so maybe like 100, maybe less, 97. Okay, like this, and we're gonna see. Also we're gonna make the top to be okay. We're gonna work on that a bit later. Let me change this arrow. So let's go back to the select. So let's go back to the arrow, and we're gonna change that. So when we are not in the view 3, the same way, so this is what's gonna be. But when we are on the view 3, it's gonna be what we call it, arrow. Let me write this right, arrow left, if I am right. Yeah, I'm right. Okay, this is right. Okay, so we can go now less. Also, we're gonna make sure that when we are on the larger screen, this margin bottom right here is not gonna exist. So because the arrow is gonna be on the left and not in the bottom. Okay, so we just simply can change this and make it an extensive test. If I can select it, so question mark else, which is going to be 0. We're not going to have it. Okay, and this is what. Okay, so we can go back to the stars and we make the top like 0. Let's see if it doesn't change, just add important. Okay, now it changes. So let me play with the values, like 14 pixels. I think this is all right. 14, 15 is going to be the right value. Okay, so now we got it. So now we have this on the left. Let me just try and play with values, see F12, and see if it changes. So now we're on the larger screen. Now we can go slowly, and as you see, it's gonna change. And also on the smaller screen, this is how it's gonna be. Okay, well, I think this is all right. I think this is fine. So let me get rid of the F12. So we're gonna do the same thing for the gender. Go right here and take this, everything inside this error. Let's go back to the gender and put it right here. And this is not going to be the gender error. This error is going to be the gender error. And we're going to remove this right here. Okay. So now this is going to be for that. Let me just choose a value that works, and then so we can see, okay, how I select this. Let me refresh. Okay, so let's try again. So, okay, get out of here. Let's try a value that is right. Okay, and then sign up. So we're going to see the error right. Okay, so this is fine also for the other one. So, okay, I think this is everything. Let me just go back. So this is gender. Okay, we're gonna also remove, let me just take this also and add this right here. Okay, I just want to make sure that when we are on the larger screen, we don't have any margin bottom. So this is gonna be for the gender error, and now it's gonna be here. Okay, and let's see in different screen sizes. Okay, so this is how it's gonna change. So this is brilliant. Okay, so now if we had a value that is wrong and we try, we're gonna get an error in both. Okay, so if we fix that, and there's not gonna be a problem, it's gonna be also just here. Okay, if we fix that, we're not gonna have any problems. We can go back right here, and as you see, everything is working fine. Okay, so now we've done everything, I think, for this. So the next episode, maybe we'll just try and work on the backend for the register, and then the login, or maybe we're gonna work on the click outside. I really don't know. So I'm just gonna see what I'm gonna do and just see you there. Okay, have fun.